Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Move Abroad Monday. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm Dr. Raquel. Between my husband and I, we've lived in 5 different countries and currently hold Mexican residency. And if you are returning, hey, y'all, hey. So I'm really excited to chat with y'all today. If you are on my email list, you've already received the big news that I have a pretty huge update for today. So if you've been following our Move Abroad journey, you know that my family and I have been preparing to move abroad again. Because like I shared, we've moved abroad many times. My son was born abroad. We originally thought that at this point in the summer, we would already be gone, but we are still here. And so the kids are starting school, the activities are beginning. We're still seeing people around town doing the things. And I've actually had people ask me, like, aren't y'all supposed to be gone already? And the answer is yes, we are supposed to be gone. But the plan has changed. And today I'm going to tell you where we're going, what we're doing, all the things. So we have officially started the process for a move to Canada. Yes, oh Canada. That's all I know. But we've officially started the process for our move to Canada. And I want to be very clear about that means because we are still in the process of moving abroad. So there are visas that have to be approved, steps that have to be happen before we're actually packing our bags and getting on a plane. So I'm not saying we already have our visas, we have our leave date, all of that. We do not. But what I am saying is that we have made a decision to begin the process of securing our visa. So we are in that process right now, waiting. If everything goes as planned, Canada will hopefully be the next place that our family calls home. So I wanted to take today to share a little bit about how we got here. Now, one thing that I think is so interesting is that I'm always like, you have to stay flexible, you have to be open, and it's so real. And I get to kind of live that out for you in real time because flexibility is not my jam. Adaptability is not one of my top 5 Clifton Strengths talents. I think it's like number 32 of 34. And so Canada was not our original plan. So I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to y'all because it's important to kind of understand what being open really means because there is really, I think, a great lesson in how we even got to the point where we are considering Canada. And so when we originally made our plans to move abroad, that's what made sense. We planned on Mexico. We got our residency for Mexico. We went to Mexico. We all love Mexico. And I don't think that that was a wrong decision because Mexico is still something that we definitely plan to make happen. Even if it's just spending some extended time in Mexico in between our time in Canada and the US or wherever. We just really want flexibility in our lives. And so we made the best decision that we could based on what we knew at that time and what we wanted and what our family needed. And I think that that's really where a lot of this lesson is. It's like all you can do is make the best decision for yourself and your family. And then sometimes when you receive additional information or when people see like, oh, they're open to this, then maybe new opportunities happen and more doors open. And that's basically what happened with us. So, in a conversation my husband was having, it was like, okay, you're open to moving outside of the US, so would you be interested in this opportunity? And when that opportunity came about, we had to ask ourselves, like, are we so committed to Mexico that we're not willing to consider something that might actually be a really good fit for our family? And my answer was yes. I am so committed to Mexico. I am not willing to figure out what Canada could be. And so my husband was immediately like, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. Let's see if this could be a good fit. And once I also decided to like live this life of openness and be like, okay, yes, I love Mexico. I'm super excited about Mexico. I've been packed for Mexico for months. But maybe, it is important that I also see like what is up with Canada, what that looks like for us. And that started a completely different conversation. So we started to think about, okay, what would our day to day look like? Started thinking about the kids. Okay, what does school look like? What do activities look like? What kind of community will we have for them? We had to think about, okay, work. Obviously, this is like something that it would be like a position basically created around his skill sets. Well, realistically, when that happens, you probably need to take advantage of that. But anywho, I can't believe I took so long to come around. But you have to think about like professional opportunities. What will I do while we're in Canada? And start thinking about really what is the lifestyle that we want. So I always share with you before selecting a country, you need to envision what it is that you want any country to provide you. What lifestyle do you want? And then you have to see if there is a country that matches that. And the more that we explored it, the more that we realized, like, this could actually be pretty great for us. And so the funny part about Canada is, like, as I said, I am definitely type A. That's where my comfort zone is. I have moved and learned and grown beyond that, where I can have type A when necessary, but also be, more mobile, more flexible when necessary, which living abroad taught me that. But one thing that that meant was that I had to like commit to the idea of Canada before having things in place and secured for Canada, which very much was like super uncomfortable for me. And so I have learned through conversations with people and, helping other people move as well, that sometimes that's kind of like where the main rub is. It's like, but I'm committing and I don't have everything in place, especially with something as big as moving abroad. And you do all the research, do all the things, you start making arrangements, you create this picture in your head of what things will be like, and then it all changes. And like, seriously, this is like, completely drastic changes. Like even where we're considering in Canada is West Coast Canada. So it's like not even geographically where we were considering. And so I think that my temptation was to be like, okay, but this was the plan. Like what are we talking about? And keep going back to like, but we've already like committed to it because I had already committed to it and created this vision in my mind. But I really need to think like, okay, one of the things that I have learned from living abroad is that flexibility is such an important part of like creating an international life. You don't know everything when you start planning the process. You cannot know everything when you start planning for your move abroad. You might visit a country and realize, I thought I loved this place from the YouTube and the photos, but I actually don't like this at all. Or you might find an opportunity where there's something that you really hadn't even thought about taking seriously. And then when you do, you're like, oh my gosh, wow. I've done podcast episodes in the past where it's like you have to be open, like professionally, to what opportunities come to you. And so it may not be that the career that you've had for the last 15 years might be the transition into that same career when you're moving abroad. So career opportunities might change, priorities might change, or you might simply feel like something that was in the original plan just isn't the best aligned. And that just means that you have new information to work with. And now you have to decide what are you going to do based on that new information. And that's really what happened to us. So we got new information. My husband got a new opportunity. And instead of saying, nah, I'm good, we already have a plan. We just gave ourselves permission to explore it. And ultimately, we decided, like, like I said, type A, I had these are the assets and these are the challenges list. And every single time I made that list, I realized that the assets far outweighed those challenges. And so we decided, okay, let's go ahead and pivot. So that means now not just pivoting location, but that means that now we're also pivoting in terms of timeline because our timeline is different. So now we're planning to be here through the end of the year. And for me, that actually wasn't a bad thing because I love the holidays with my family, and so I'll be able to be here during Christmas, my favorite holiday, with my fam, and that'll kind of be like our last hurrah before we go away. And I had just packed up my Christmas tree, so thankfully I hadn't given it away as of yet, so I can unpack that thing. And so also. Like it just gives more flexibility. I did not even have my kids registered for school because I didn't plan on being here. So I had to do like mad dash, like, oh my gosh, where are they going to go? Like, what school are they going to go to? What school do I want them to go to? What school has availability? There are processes of the things. And so I had to kind of go through all of that as well, because that was not a part of my plan. And so, yeah, I had to go through the checklist of the things, create a new one, and now we're working from a different place. And there are things that are completely outside of my control, and that's again a part of moving abroad. And so we've had to push back our move date, and yeah, we're kind of living in the in between right now. And I was hoping, I think one of the things that I was really looking forward to was like, okay, we have this many months and then the in between lifestyle will be over. We will officially like be in action of living abroad. And we are going to be in the in between for several more months now. And so that's just where we are, where it's like we're living here, we're living now, we're doing the things all while simultaneously, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually preparing to go somewhere else. So it's kind of a weird place to be. I keep saying weird as the term because I really don't have another way to describe it. Like it's just kind of like you're in limbo, but you're also planning for something. So it's a little bit different. So we've started the process. We're obviously not there yet. Life does not just stop because we're planning to leave. So we still have commitments. We still have life that we're trying to live now to the fullest. And yeah, I think there's really something that's just really important about that because it can be very easily mentally to leave before you physically left. And I don't want to do that. Like I am very much so a visionary where being in the present moment is not something that I am great at. And so I'm really working to be present in this moment at this time. What are we doing? How are we building? How are we connecting? While also constantly thinking about the next country, the next school, the next house, the next version of what our lives are going to look like. So, but yeah, we still have life to live right now. So that's what we're trying to do. Yeah, so I wanted to share that with you. And those are just kind of some of my biggest takeaways from my experiences that I hope you bring with you for this Move Abroad Monday. So if you're thinking about moving abroad, I just hope that I'm sharing how important it is to not become so attached to like the place that you lose sight of why you made that decision in the first place. And the goal is not to like successfully execute any specific itinerary, but the goal is to build a life that works for you, wherever that is. And sometimes the information that you get can confirm, like, yes, this original plan, this is the way to go. But sometimes the additional information that you get or the additional opportunities that you get can just kind of throw it all up in the air. And both of those are okay. It's okay if all of a sudden another country makes sense. Explore it. Because right now we have the option of two more countries now, so we can spend time in both places. What is the downside of that? If your timeline needs to change, change it. If you need to stay 6 months longer than you originally planned, stay. If you realize, okay, we're ready to be out sooner, go. Like moving abroad isn't just legitimate if like things align perfectly. Like either way, moving abroad or going or really not even moving abroad is the goal. I think creating the lifestyle that you want is the ultimate goal. And we don't always know exactly how that's going to happen. And obviously, we don't always even know exactly where that's going to be. But you just need enough information to make a good decision at that moment in time. And that's what we're doing. And our next decision is Canada. So now we wait. We continue the process. We keep living our lives. We do all the things. And hopefully everything will get approved. And I'll eventually be sitting here doing a moving Broad Monday, telling you, yay, we got our visas. It's time to go. And trust me, when that day comes, I will definitely let you know. But until then, I'm just gonna keep sharing the process because I think that there is value in seeing what Move Abroad looks like in real life before you get on the plane. So often people are showing you like, oh, I live here and this is awesome and this is what it is, the beautiful apartments, the new city, the we moved abroad announcement. But these decisions, these pivots, this uncertainty, figuring it out as you go, this is really what moving and building your best life abroad looks like. Um, so yeah, so that's really important. And speaking of Best Life Abroad, I have another more exciting update before I go. So I'm super excited to share that Best Life Abroad, Not Your Average Travel Podcast is coming back next month. So season 5 is on the way, and I cannot wait to share all the things with you. I've had some really amazing interviews with different people from all around the world. So season 5, I'm gonna just really be digging in even deeper into like what it takes to create a life abroad. And given everything happening in my own life right now, I feel like there could really just be there's no better time for me to just kind of build this conversation with you around all the things that this new season is bringing for me. So yeah, for